Hello and welcome to my channel. My name is Madimi and today I'm going to be doing a short tarot reading. So I guess as usual, just a disclaimer, which is that I don't see tarot as something that's fixed because I don't think the future is fixed. I do very much believe that we have free will, or at least the ability to choose to react to our circumstances, and that I really see tarot as sort of a mirror of the psyche, something with which to analyze ourselves and our actions and really what's going on in our heads. And essentially I see it as like, it shows us the most likely outcome based off of the actions we are currently taking. So anyway, with that, let's begin the reading. I'm gonna lay out the cards. I'm doing a Celtic cross as usual. Yeah. Give me a second. And I'm going to turn them all over and then I'll show you the cards. Okay. So immediately looking at the spread, I would say there's a fair mix of cards. We have overwhelmingly swords cards again. And swords represent conflict. That's not a bad thing necessarily. It could just be that there is a lot of, it does seem more like internal conflict, mental conflict about what to do at the moment. But yeah, let's start with the reading. So first of all, in the position of who you are right now, we have Temperance. Now, Temperance is all about finding balance, really, about needing to balance spiritual and material things, but it's also the signifier card for Sagittarius. So you might be a Sagittarius or have a strong Sagittarius placement. So maybe if you're not a Sagittarius sun, perhaps you're a Sagittarius moon or even Sagittarius rising, or possibly like Sagittarius Mercury or Mars. Yeah, so you might be a Sagittarius. And yeah, it's currently you're maybe learning about the need to balance things in your life. Now, in the immediate past, we have the Ten of Swords, which is the end of a cycle, but this is also the card of like exhaustion, and I'd say burnout. So maybe you recently went through a period of time where you, for whatever reason, ended up overworking or overworked yourself, either because you had to or because you felt that you had to. But that cycle is closed now. But now what's happening is that you are having to learn that actually everything in life is a balance or needs to be balanced. You cannot just work yourself to death. You need to rest and take breaks and put back into yourself. Now, what crosses you or challenges you is the Ace of Pentacles. So aces are about the potential for things. This is the potential for building something, but it's also to do with career and money and finance. So maybe what you're struggling with at the moment is perhaps money, perhaps finding a way to gain stability in life. Maybe that's actually what you're struggling with at the moment. And I think it could be because we've got, in the past, we've got the burnout card and then we've got the Ace of Pentacles. I also see Pentacles as representing, as they're the earth element, as representing the physical body. So maybe what you are struggling with at the moment is balancing out working so that you can earn money, but also not overworking so that you damage your body, because you know, we all need to take care of our physical bodies because they're the vessel that we live in. And, you know, also if you get sick, then you can't work. So I'd say those are the themes probably going on in your life at the moment. The immediate future is the Five of Cups, which is an interesting card because this is essentially the card of don't cry over spilt milk. But it also contains another saying, which is water under the bridge. You can see there's water going under a bridge. And it's very much about the dangers of falling into this kind of mindset. This is not a bad card, by the way. It's just about reminding you to not fall into the mindset of crying over spilt milk. Because this person is focused on the 3 cups that are on the floor that have spilt everywhere. But they don't realise that they still have 2 cups behind them. Now, Another card we have in the spread is the Eight of Swords on the What's on Your Mind. The Eight of Swords is the sort of, essentially it's like the victim mentality card. So you see there's a woman who's blindfolded, there are all these swords behind her, and then in front of her there's a pool of water. So the swords are behind her, the danger is behind her. So what this card is saying is that the danger in your life, the difficulty, it's actually behind you. It's already happened. You just need to trust your gut and move forward, because water is always intuition. So this card, which is What's on Your Mind, is telling you, I'd say the combination of these three cards really, is with this being the past, so burnout in the past, particularly mental burnout, overthinking, overextending yourself, being way too harsh on yourself. The card now being almost like feeling like you're stuck, feeling like there's nothing you can do, feeling like it's always going to be like this. You have to realize that this Ten of Swords, this burnout, it's behind you. It's already happened. Like, what has hurt you has already happened. These things are not in your life anymore. They can't hurt you now, they're in the past. You need to trust your gut and move forward. And then with the Five of Cups being in the immediate future, it's reinforcing this idea of stop focusing on what was, stop focusing on what happened. It hurt, I know. No, I'm sorry that it hurt, I'm sorry that had to happen to you. But you can't keep focusing on it, you need to move forward. So you don't have these things in your life anymore. It could be people, you might have lost certain people. I know, it sucks when we lose people, but we can't just focus on what was, on what happened, on what we've lost. We need to focus on what we still have and learn to move forward. With the Five of Wands being at the root of the issue, wands are fire, their creativity and spirituality, but I also feel like they can be self-expression. So what it could be is that maybe you're somewhat like internally conflicted yourself over what it is you want from life, or maybe what's actually going on is you're very angry about something that happened in the past and you have not found a way to express that anger yet. And what you actually need to learn to do is to find a way to get that anger out, to get your emotions out, to actually speak up for yourself. I do feel like with these cards there is also this idea of, you know, with the Ace of Swords in reverse being your hopes and fears, and swords being about communication and speaking, I feel like you have a fear of speaking up for yourself because of things that have happened in the past. Perhaps you are in a job where you are being overworked, and you know, it might be worth speaking up and saying you don't always have to take on the responsibilities. By the way, I feel like you are someone who always takes on the jobs of other people and, you know, is always working to the highest level. I feel like you work for someone else, you could work in an office, and essentially what the cards are telling you is you are burnt out because you are taking on everybody else's work as well, and you need to learn to speak up for yourself and to say no to people. You don't always have to say yes to people. And with this Five of Cups, it could be that there are people in your life currently, this Five of Cups being in the immediate future, there are people in your life currently who call themselves your friends, but who, if you say no to them, will get very annoyed at you. Like, maybe you have a lot of people asking you for favors all the time. You need to learn to set boundaries. That's what this is about. At the root of the issue is boundaries. You see all these sticks? They're like fences. You need to learn to set boundaries with people. Now, sometimes when you set boundaries with people, you may lose some people, but it's important to remember the people that you lose because they don't want to listen to your boundaries, because they don't want to respect your boundaries, they're not worth having in your life. And so essentially what the cards are telling you is, and then, right, on top of everything, right, we've got the Devil as how you see yourself. The Devil's not a bad card. It does not mean you are possessed. It's nothing like that. The Devil is about addiction. But you can be addicted not just to substances, but you can be addicted to a way of life or a way of thinking or a pattern. In the Devil card, there are two people with chains around their necks, but the chains are actually loose. Now, if they could see that the chains were loose, they'd realize that they can free themselves. It's the same kind of idea as in the Eight of Swords. The problems that you have in your life are not final. You can overcome them. You need to stand up for yourself, essentially, is what I'm getting from all of these cards. You need to set boundaries with people. You cannot just do everyone's work all the time, or you will end up exhausted. And, you know, that's what you need to find balance with a Temperance card. It's all about finding a balance between what you want, and it's about balancing the needs of yourself with the needs of others. But with a lot of these cards, all these swords and the Wands card, it is about needing to set boundaries and saying no to people. You know, you need to sometimes just say no to people. Sometimes people are going to ask you for favors and you genuinely are just not, you don't have the time or energy to do it. You need to say no when that happens. Other people are not more important than you. Their needs are not more important than yours. Everyone's equal, and it does seem like there's a potential at the moment you are somewhat alone, and maybe you're someone who's very independent, but that means also you're the only person that's taking care of you, which then means you need to leave time to take care of you. I'm not saying cut everyone off, that's not what I'm saying. All I'm saying is you need to stand up for yourself. Essentially, you need to learn how to say no to people, and especially, I really feel like this is about being asked favors or being asked to do extra work. Sometimes you're just gonna have to say, look, I'm sorry, I can't do it, I just don't have the time at the moment. That's essentially what this is about. Now, the card of how other people see you is the Chariot in reverse. This is essentially just being stuck. But also upright, the chariot, is Apollo. That's like confidence. Other people see you as not having much confidence in yourself and being a bit stuck, but what they actually it's they see that you are not confident in yourself, and so some people take advantage of that and use that to get favors out of you and to get you to do stuff all the time. And if you keep going the way that you're going, if you just keep letting other people walk all over you, essentially, if you don't set your boundaries, if you keep focusing on what it was that happened in the past and you don't learn to speak up for yourself and set your boundaries, we will have the Three of Swords, which is essentially the card of heartbreak, but it's also the card of healing. So it's this idea, if you don't set boundaries now, you are going to have something happen where you're going to learn that you really do need to set boundaries. Otherwise, people will just keep taking advantage of your good nature, essentially. But this is only if you know, Three of Swords isn't a negative card either. So either what's going to happen is you're going to learn to set boundaries now, and this isn't going to happen. You're going to basically be freed. The minute you set boundaries with people, you will be freed. If you don't set boundaries yet and you continue the way things are, you will experience a situation where someone will cross your boundaries so much that it will cause you a lot of pain, but you will then from that learn how to set boundaries. All I'm saying is that the best thing you could do now is essentially to, number one, stop focusing on the past, stop focusing on what happened. You know, there are still people in your life who are actual good friends who care for you. Focus on the relationships you do have rather than the ones that you lost. Learn to find a balance between work and your own private life, right? Because if you do that, you'll then be offered better opportunities. There's also this idea though, set boundaries. Have faith in yourself. The danger is over. The person who was hurting you is going to be gone from your life. Trust your intuition and move forward. Because if you set boundaries, if you set your boundaries, if you speak up for yourself, and if you stop focusing on the past, and if you stop focusing on what you don't have and start focusing on what you do have, you will start seeing opportunities appear everywhere, essentially. So yeah, in summary, all I have to say is you need to find balance between helping others and helping yourself. You need to learn to stick up for yourself. That means speaking up when things are hurting you, and also just setting boundaries with people and saying no. And you need to stop focusing on the past and start focusing on the now and the future, and that's when you will see change and opportunities. But yeah, ultimately, this is not a bad reading, by the way. This is a very good reading, because all it's saying is that once you speak up for yourself, once you stick up for yourself, other people will start respecting you more, and you will start getting the things that you want, really, or that you know that you need. Yeah, I hope that was helpful. I feel like it was a very short reading, but I hope it helped. And have a lovely day. Thanks for watching.